Welcome to Neurotypicals Don't Juggle Chainsaws, the podcast that cuts through the rubbish to explore the world of neurodiversity. I'm your host, Nic King.
And I'm your host, Kate Fox, and together we're here to explore, understand, and celebrate being neurodivergent in a neurotypical world. From ADHD and autism to dyslexia and other quirky brains, we talk about it all.
And go off on tangents. So, whether you're neurodivergent, love someone who is, or you're just curious about neurodivergent minds, you are in the right place.
Let's get ready to juggle some words and maybe even a few chainsaws, metaphorically, of course.
Welcome back to Neurotypicals Don't Juggle Chainsaws. It is myself, Nic King, and herself, Kate Fox. And today we're talking about my longest term relationship. No, it's not actually about relationships like that at all. It's about my relationship with my hairdresser, which is actually significantly longer than my relationship with my husband. We met when we were like 20.
And I don't think it's a neutral thing as an autistic person that you have a long-term relationship with your hairdresser, because presumably it's quite important for you to have that consistency in this particularly intimate relationship, or is it just accidental and it's because you lived in one place?
No, because she actually is no longer anywhere near me. She's about half an hour's drive away now. And we've had various sort of times in our relationship. Initially she was near me. Initially I lived where her hair salon is. And it's partly about a sort of a very long-term, loyal and slightly, long-standing relationship. On the other hand, do you know how hard it is to find people who are really good at cutting short women's hair? Like short women's hair? Women's hair short? Women's hair
5'7".
sentences. My hair is short. People who are good at cutting hair short on women. Are we there yet?
Yes.
Did I get there in the
I
end?
think eventually, in some form. I know what you're saying. And actually, you have a very exciting, distinctive, like your really cool, long, fringy bit that comes down. And I imagine if that ever goes wrong, like to contemplate just taking that somewhere else and them getting it right is not. No.
Also, it has to feel right. So on a rare occasion, I have had it cut by somebody else because I mean, on two occasions she has had the audacity to go on maternity leave. I don't know how I don't know how she died. And luckily, the second time was a lot shorter than the first. Um, but even then, it needs to feel right as well because I do a lot of running my hands through my hair, and it needs to feel right. And then if somebody else cuts it, it doesn't always feel right. Or if and I do it really regularly, people are like, "Oh, you're going to the hairdressers," but my hair grows really quickly, so I'm there at a minimum every sort of 4 to 6 weeks anyway. Which when people have long hair, that isn't what you do, like at all.
No. And actually, because so I'm in this sort of the opposite. I am quite promiscuous with my hairdressers, and I have had many hairdressers over the years. I will have one and actually often be quite happy for a while, and then they cut my fringe wrong and I don't forgive them and I move on. No, it's usually more, actually that has happened a little bit, but it's also that I've moved quite a lot. And I, at one point, when I went to Leeds about 10 years ago, I found who I called the hairdresser of yes. And this was quite a key moment, because up till then, I had believed hairdressers when they said, no, you can't have pink hair because then you'd have to keep it up and you can't keep up your hair because that's the thing. And I didn't realise that lots of hairdressers, they are very neurotypical, kind of conditioned, and there's certain things that they believe that people want with their hair, especially women, and they kind of pass on these beliefs. And yeah, I didn't realize this for a long time, but then if you break out and find hairdressers who are a bit more like, yeah, whatever, do whatever, usually that will be hairdressers who emphasize their use of color. They are also more likely to be neurodivergent friendly. That would be my theory.
A colour theory.
A colour theory indeed. So one of the key problems or issues that many, particularly autistic people, have with their hair and other beauty providers, we'll talk about other forms of beauty, is having to sit with them for a long time and talk. How is it for you and your long-term hairdresser?
I think we're good. Ironically, for a hairdresser, she's not always that into small talk. I mean, because we've known each other forever, like we're immediately into the like, what variety of trauma have you had in the last 4 weeks? Do you know what I mean? That's the opener.
So that, and again, this is not, so she's not that into small talk.
No,
Because
no, she is
so,
also neurodivergent. Like we know that now. Yeah,
yeah,
yes,
yes.
we both know that now.
Well, yes, for a while you were a bit ahead of it, right? Yeah, so classic. I'm going to go so far as to say you possibly could not have formed such a successful long-term relationship with a neurotypical hairdresser because you got fed up of their where are you
Where are you
going?
going on holiday?
Oh God, it's like there's just death. Oh, and it is interesting to notice that there are, and I'm not aware of this as a thing, actually, where we are on Tyneside, but maybe it's there's a salon doing it. There are places now who will advertise that they are neurodivergent friendly and that they don't do small talk actually, and they're kind of aware of some of the issues, and I think more of that would be better. I've definitely, in my promiscuity with hairdressers, had hairdressers that are really find it a tortuous element of their job to have to talk, and I've tacitly or explicitly given them permission not to, and have just got in my magazine and we've both quietly whiled away the time. But my hair takes on average 3 hours because I have bleach usually, so it is a long job. And I have definitely gone through phases where I've chosen hairdressers, yeah, because of the talk. There was one where we would just get really deep into issues. There's one there's one I've had recently who for a while we both watched on Channel 4 Married at First Sight. And that was good, so we could just talk about that. And that was very successful, actually. But then I began to find that programme too traumatic. And now I'm not sure I would be able to go back to her because we literally don't think we'd have anything else to talk about.
That was the topic.
No, it wasn't. But honestly, but that was perfectly serviceable. Like, it was so enjoyable to really unpack that at great depth across the 3 hours. Okay, how is the sensory aspect of the process for you?
I think because again, in a long-term relationship, it just is fine. But I have to say, we were pushing in an appointment a few months back, and somebody else put my hair dye on, and Marcia, oh, I'm naming now, Marcia, immediately said to this other hairdresser in the salon, they were like, "You can't touch Nick's neck. Don't touch Nick's neck." So even before I'd sat down with somebody else, she was like, "Don't touch Nick's neck."
See, you've got the perfect hairdresser who is knowing
Yeah.
what parts of you to touch and not touch. So yeah, you have negotiated this relationship that really works.
I
Um,
also don't know if I've ever explicitly said that to her. I mean, obviously, we're a very, very long way into a relationship now, but I don't know if I've ever just explicitly said that or if it's just something that she knows. Because I do like it's one of the reasons that my hair's short is I hate like I'm cautious about what's touching my neck.
that's so interesting then. It's possible that she has intuitively, bodily picked that up and now knows that that's something to convey to somebody else. That is a really beautiful level of attunement, actually, isn't it? A beautiful and rare level of attunement.
And bless her, she has got the patience of a saint. So like my both my children are older now and can sit for hair. Do you know what I mean? But there was definitely a time where it was very much let's follow them around the salon and like cut as we move. And like bless her, she has had endless levels of patience.
Wow. Obviously, she sounds like
I know, I do recommend her to like absolutely everyone. She is Marcia. She's in Stanley County, Durham. Go find her.
yeah, gosh. Because I mean, I'm just realizing that part of the reason I've stuck with my current hairdresser for a while, they're color friendly, and it's usually quiet when I go in. It's not an environment where there are 10 hair dryers blasting and 10 conversations going on and really loud music. It's usually just maybe me and one other client because I'll tend to go during the weekday. So accidentally that's working out for me. And then in terms of the sensory stuff, I suppose I'm so used to it. It is okay. Like bleach is a very prickly feeling on you sometimes.
And cold.
Oh yeah. Although actually I quite like that. I like the oh yeah.
Oh yes, because you like cold water. You see,
Yeah.
I'm immediately like, oh no, it's cold.
Yeah. Well, it's always quite nice. It's like a sudden icy feeling on you. No, I quite like that bit. And actually sometimes I quite like it when it goes all funny and prickly, which is probably a sign that it's doing something it shouldn't be doing, but I actually quite like that. So this is all good. But I tell you what is a terrible, terrible torture to me, but I still do it because it's also a stim. So, so having my fingernails done is a thing. The gel nails, um, because I like to see sparkly nails. But the feeling of having the emery board on my skin is just painful, terrible, awful. And I will sometimes say, "Oh, could you try not touch the skin?" Uh, but mostly I just hold it in. And then I've got into toenails, having my toenails done because it lasts ages with gel. But that, oh, it shows the level of torture I'm willing to put up with. Actually, it is
Sparkly
possible.
nails.
Yeah, because then I get sparkly nails that I can look at. But
Mm.
the emery board, ooh, no, no.
I don't really mind an emery board. I actually, it's the tin foil when they wrap you in tin foil with like a bit of acetone on a cotton wool. That's like no, I'm not as keen. But and again, I don't have a long-term relationship with the person who does like my nails and like that aspect of beauty with me. But I am. I think I've probably only solidly had three people, and I have gone to the same place and the same salon for ever, like since 14 forever, like forever.
Yeah. Again, so this is
And
one
when
of
I lived next to the hairdresser, which was further away, I still came back down and
yeah,
had that like done there.
yeah, a trusted person. And actually, I found a trusted nail person, but then she moved on and went self-employed, and it's too far to get without a car at the moment. But I pledged my eyebrows to her. It was almost like a ritual because she thought that, there's been this. So I think we've both lived through this thing where there were very thin eyebrows in the 90s, and lots of people's eyebrows never grew back from that time. I was lucky that my eyebrows did grow back. And then there were very thick eyebrows for a while. And I think we have actually moved on from very thick eyebrows, I gather, to more sort of average eyebrows. Anyway, I had what my eyebrow and nail person considered to be too thin eyebrows, and she got me to grow them, and she didn't want anyone else to do anything with them because I used to go get them threaded. It's very painful, but I would have them threaded. But I sort of said, okay, I pledge, this is my commitment to you. I pledge my eyebrows to you. And it was quite nice, actually. It was one of the few, apart from a marriage, one of the few committed relationships I've had in my life. And yeah, sadly, she's too far away now. But I used to like going to her, and she had a dog, and we'd just chat about things. Actually, and she was quite neurotypical, but not in an annoying way. And it was nice. It was like a window into a world of ordinariness that I am usually a little bit closed off from.
And sometimes you can get that. Again, my current beautician, not neurotypical, then it again is immediately into what's the recent trauma, um, what is going on, and she listens. Hi Mel.
Ah,
Hi.
ah, yeah.
We do a Mel shout out. We hope you're enjoying our discussions. If you would like to show your support, you can pop over to Neurotypicals Don't Juggle Chainsaws.co.uk and leave us a little tip through the PayPal link, and that helps us to continue to bring you great content. Do you know what? Something, and I don't know if it's because I fall into the parent carer category and people talk about my well-being on an observational model, which slightly bothers me. But I get oh, you're going to the hairdressers, that must be nice. Or you're going to the beauty salon, and don't get me wrong, I do, it is nice. But I actually see it as really basic sort of personal hygiene, like stuff that you have to do. Like
Oh, that's it. No, now that is interesting. Okay,
rather
just
than a treat, as it were. And I get it pitched as something that would be classed within treats, but I'm actually like, well, no, I have to have my hair cut because it's short. And I
but,
have to have it dyed because I'm not prepared to be grey yet.
but isn't that so? In a way, is because certainly my thing of I always have to have my nails done, and I sometimes my hair goes too long, but I'm unhappy when it's gone too long since I've had it done. To me, they're basically mask components, I would say. Are they for you in a sense, mask component?
I don't know if they're mask components. I just think when you, a lot of your employment is a presentation of yourself,
Yeah, right. Yes, yes, yeah.
there is a certain level of grooming that is
Yeah.
expected, particularly when you happen to present as female.
Yes, and well, and in that way, I would say mask components in the sense of, like professional female mask component rather than neurodivergent mask component. But yes, yes, and you are explicitly seeing it in that way. But there is this thing of, yeah, oh, isn't it nice? You're going to have that treat. And I've had that said, not so often, but I've just kind of gone, no, not really. Also feeling that it's something I have to do, that in an ideal world it would just happen, but
Yeah.
it doesn't just happen, and I can't make it happen.
Yeah.
Therefore, it is this task that I have to do. So, yes, essential presentation of self-maintenance effectively.
Yeah. And that's sort of and it's something that sits really weird with me that people sort of see it in a sort of a treat kind of way, and I'm like, hmm, you say that to men.
And actually, but you did, and you said maybe it's about the mum. So is it
Yeah.
mum people doing that?
Normally, people who suggest that would be like, yeah, professionals within my children's life as a rule, or somebody who is attempting to talk about me doing some sort of self-care or self-well-being type stuff. And quite frankly, you can't always well-being yourself out of my life situations. Sometimes it's just bloody difficult, and no haircut is going to resolve that.
Oh, again, well, this is fascinating. You're kind of again trapped in a web of narrative I don't have to be trapped in. Where so they're relating to you as a mum of autistic kids, then,
Yeah,
and they're kind of going, "Oh, that's nice, mum. That's nice, mum, that you're getting some time for yourself amid your life." Oh, as opposed to actually, as a business person,
yeah,
I am upholding the presentation of myself, and this is an important part of doing that.
absolutely.
Ah, yeah. And huh, it must, I mean, in a way that for me, if I really liked doing these tasks and was good at them, that would actually be my ideal to do my own hair, but I would be bad at it. Although I sorted out the blonde actually in the after and put my own toner on, but that was unusual. And bad at the nails, I have them like this because they stay like this a long time. If you have gel nails, you don't have to do anything with your nails for often in my case 6 weeks or so. And yeah, I know it's because I don't do any work with my hands. I barely wash
But
up.
if I'm getting a fortnight to 3 weeks, I'm happy.
Really? I
Yeah.
know. Well, this speaks to the difference in our lives, I believe. Like, these hands are not doing very much, apart from swimming occasionally. And so it takes 6 weeks. I can't bear to see a chip on my hand. Like, that will upset me all if I have to see that. So I have to have gel nails. Well, a bit more to unpack here than I thought, actually. As in, there is more elements of this that seem to be.
What, where it's made a sort of a thing about sort of self-care. But I don't think it is necessary. On one hand, it is care of self, but at the same time, it's not a spa day, kids. It's a
Mhm.
haircut.
Yeah.
Like I need to have my haircut. It's short. It needs to remain in shape. It needs to also not do my head in, but like it also needs dyed because it isn't all right to show up to work and events
Oh,
like looking a bit of a mess. It's just not.
well,
Okay.
okay, I'm gonna moot another thing. This is a class thing. We're both essentially lower middle class.
Right, yes. On
Um,
board.
and therefore we don't really get middle class privilege of turning up a bit more like artfully messy. Do you know what I mean?
Awfully messy.
Whereas, although having said that, so a lot of middle class women will also be doing intensely presentation of self, professional presentation of self. But part of why you might feel that's necessary as a lower middle class woman is because you kind of, you're not, well, you're not
But we're not upper middle class enough.
exactly, and well, that's a upper middle class. If we were,
Also,
and
I
it,
think artfully messy would be an awful look on me. Just saying.
oh yeah, no,
I don't think I've got the face shape for it.
that's quite.
I certainly haven't got enough hair for it.
If we were aristocrats, if we were rich, we could turn up in our wellies and stuff, and no one'd care. It's another thing, and that's another thing. If you're working class, probably even more. There's a certain look. There's a particular thing. Oh, Christine McGuinness, for example, is a Uber version of what you have to do as a working class woman. So, working class woman from Liverpool doing the Barbie doll thing. And massive amounts of self maintenance. It'd be really interesting actually to. Don't know if I don't know if she's talked about it, but like she will have had to hopefully find practitioners who she is okay with for that very significant level of personal grooming work that I am sure to her, like it does to us, but for different reasons, feels essential, not
Necessary.
optional.
Yeah. And I think that's where it is, isn't it? That it feels necessary. And I think that's why it's so important to have to have good ones.
Yes,
Like, because otherwise, I mean, however much I don't see it as like an event that's a treat, I also don't see it as something that takes a massive amount of my spoons. But that is a lot about, who I'm seeing and, that I've curated places that are safe and people who are safe. Um, so it never takes spoons. But at the same time, I'm not replenishing spoons with it either. Not necessarily. Even when I book massages and however much I love you, Mel, like it hurts. She hurts me. Like I
yeah, my
do,
God.
but she does.
No, they do hurt. Oof. Well, okay. And actually, for me, it quite often does take spoons. I haven't curated that level of kind of safety and consistency, but I am aware that what neither of us are presenting is this radical option. I'm not saying either of us should do it or would want to do it, but this other option of just kind of
Being a
not.
bit grimy.
Yeah. Well, no, there are other, they say, there are other, it is not necessarily being grimy to not have your hair done and to not have your nails done, like, and
My,
stuff.
my, my nails are currently not done. We had a conversation before this. I was like, I'm on a break. Like I've had gels on back to back for quite a long time. My nails don't necessarily appreciate it. I was like, what on a break.
Yes, you're having your nails are breathing, whereas my nails never breathe. My nails just grow and grow, though they seem really healthy. Just grow.
Mine will start getting a bit thin. Don't necessarily appreciate constantly having gels on.
Hey, imagine, maybe would it be a more radical form of unmasking at some point to see what it was like? And I'm not suggesting that either of us actually do this, but it's a thought experiment, to just sort of let it hang out more. Would let
No.
me,
No,
no,
no, I'm not on board. Actually, this is probably something I've not shared on here. One of the few things that I do that I'm not willing to compromise on, and it is again, it's partly due to a short hair thing because short hair does not wake up well on a morning. In case anyone doesn't have short hair, it can wake up like defying gravity, and I will not leave the house without washing my hair. Even if I was going to a local shop just to go and pick up a packet of whatever, I would not leave the house without having a shower and wash my hair.
Oh, that is. And does the shower, well, how is the shower itself on the spoons?
The shower is good. The shower is. You ever seen those memes on the internet about watch out for women who have boiling hot showers? Hi.
So again, it's had so this sort of need or compulsion, dare I say, is nonetheless not yeah, not harming you. It's not taking away. See, I mean, today my hair, I would be less upset about my fringe had I washed my hair. It would look a lot better. But I made a decision at some point earlier in the day, I couldn't be bothered. So it's going to have to go one extra day. And so I'm glad I have that freedom. Yeah. Oh yeah. It does mean I'm having to look at this Zoom and my dissatisfying fringe, but it's okay. We can cope.
This is the other thing as well, like because I do so much work on Zoom and on the internet, I am constantly looking at my own face, like all the time. And I'm not detrimental to myself, I'm not particularly self-critical, but at the same time, it's a lot of looking at your own image, and you will sit and analyze that, whether you're doing it consciously or subconsciously. Like, I'm aware.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, it's just, and I suppose I'm aware we haven't put in our remaining few minutes the 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 male view. I was going to say, I know this is a generalization. Sorry, men listening. Um, but actually, I mean, there's a particular kind of autistic man presentation, which is just to look the same every day. I do think that's more socially acceptable still for men, isn't it, than for women to look the same every day. I really enjoy when women look the same every day because since I have prosopagnosia and struggle to recognize faces, it's very satisfying and good for me when they do, but generally they don't. Women don't. Variety is almost. Yeah, you do. You
I
do.
do.
Yeah.
Up until the Pop
Yeah.
Splash.
And
Lucy, yeah,
actually,
still waiting for pop, yeah, still waiting for the sponsorship, but I do actually. I do look.
you do.
I do.
And that subconsciously gives me a feeling of safety because I know I'm not going to fail to recognize you
But
or have.
also back to it being a slightly professional thing. If I radically changed my look, and there has been a discussion about this, I would immediately date all of my work.
Oh, yeah.
And there is almost sort of like a professional reason that I keep my image sort of similar because it means that none of my videos become dated. So
Mm.
nothing that's created is ever really, really. I know when it was done, but ultimately somebody else wouldn't know. So there is, again, we're back to a sort of it being a professional thing.
Yeah. Well, it feels to me that what you have managed to achieve with your
Long-term relationships.
yeah, it kind of I mean, not achievable for many of us, but actually possibly an ideal for those of us who do, for whatever complex intersectional reasons, need to enter the world of significant grooming by others. Again, if we were octopuses or I was going to say whales. The reason I was going to say whales, this might seem random, it's I've just read a news story about how orca whales have been seen grooming each other with kelp, which is a rare instance of animals using tools. But maybe what they're actually, maybe is it self-care? Is it because they're aware of being photographed more on National Geographic and needing to give off a certain image? Hopefully they found people they're comfortable with to groom them with the kelp in a way that don't touch me fins. But that's derailed my point, which was going to be if we were animals, we wouldn't be bothered, would we? We'd be fine. But we're not. We're humans in a complex social world that we negotiate the best we can with the tools we have available, be it kelp or hair bleach.
Thanks for tuning in to Neurotypicals Don't Juggle Chainsaws. We're so glad you joined us today to explore the fascinating world of neurodivergence with your hosts, me, Nic King.
And me, Kate Fox. If our conversation sparked a thought, a question, or even a smile, don't keep it to yourself. Drop us a line at hello@neurotypicals.don't-juggle-chainsaws.co.uk or visit our website, neurotypicals.don't-juggle-chainsaws.co.uk, to write in. We'd love to hear from you.
If you enjoyed today's episode, consider leaving us a 5-star review on your favourite podcast platform.
Until next time, keep embracing the unique ways you juggle the chainsaws of life.